I decided to be the biggest nerd in the world and look at every single team's lineups this season. I looked at net ratings and minutes played, and I decided who would be the 10 best lineups used in the NBA this season. And I'm sure you're going to be shocked to hear this one. The majority of these are from the top teams in the NBA, but I think it's still interesting. You've already seen LeBron James, Kevin Love, and now Tristan Thompson, as the Cleveland Cavaliers have one of the better lineups used this season, where they have their starting five, but then at the two-guard position was DeAndre Liggins, one guy who would only focus on his defense, but he hasn't been playing that much lately. But luckily for the Cavaliers, they also have another one of the best lineups this season. You keep Kyrie Irving and his offense in there. You still have Tristan Thompson at the center position. And then LeBron James is still there to do what he always does. But there's two changes that the Cavaliers make, and their team really doesn't falter at all. One of which is they play Richard Jefferson at the small ball 4. He's a guy who can stretch the floor. And then there is Iman Shumpert to replace Liggins. The defense is still there, but Shumpert's also been hitting his three-pointers this season as well. The next one we look at is the Boston Celtics. It's simply their starting lineup, which was always a little iffy this season, mainly due to injuries, but everyone's been healthy for a long enough stretch now to where they've been comfortable with each other. And then you combine Isaiah Thomas's scoring with what Jay Crowder as well as Avery Bradley do on the wings, both of them being very good defensive players who are also efficient when it comes to shooting. And then you add in the versatility of Al Horford, who can shoot from mid-range, shoot from three depending on the day of the week. He's a very good passer as well as a strong defensive player. And then the veteran presence of Amir Johnson. Just a solid lineup top to bottom. We head over to the Toronto Raptors. Of course, Kyle Lowry is in here because, well, he's in all of their best lineups. Patrick Patterson is also in their two best lineups as well. This clip here has him dunking on like Zaza. I'm pretty sure Patterson hasn't dunked like that in years, but he still is a good two-way player. DeMarre Carroll is kind of like the Raptors version of Liggins with the defense, and his offense will come and go. And then, of course, after Valanciunas, we have to mention DeRozan and the scoring that he provides for the Raptors, as he is their leading guy in that department. And I'm sure you're surprised to realize that the Golden State Warriors are a part of this video. This one is simply their starting five. Steph Curry and everything he can do, even if his shooting has been a little down this season. Draymond is probably the most versatile dude in the NBA. And there's Klay Thompson. I have to assume you know who Klay Thompson is if you're watching this video. And then finally, Kevin Durant, whose injury seems to be getting better. I saw some footage of him in practice and he was looking pretty okay. And then finally at the 5 spot we have Zaza Pachulia, who just does stuff around the rim. But the Warriors have another lineup in here, and this is the classic small ball lineup of death. The story has been pretty much written. Draymond Green will get a screen from Steph. He'll go inside, and he can either finish at the rim, or he can just pass it off to someone. And if Iguodala is knocking down his three-pointer, which he has been doing at league average since joining the Warriors, you're pretty much screwed, because then you got to deal with Kevin Durant as well as Klay Thompson stretching the floor. Now, of course, if you don't want Draymond to kill you, then you can choose just not to trap Steph Curry on the pick and roll. But if you do that, you're probably going to be putting 3 points up on the board, so you're kind of screwed regardless. The San Antonio Spurs, this one is a slight little adjustment to their starting lineup. LaMarcus Aldridge and his shooting as a big man is still great. Danny Green, who was kind of disappointing last season, but he has bounced back to the role player this year. Kawhi Leonard, who has quietly been in the MVP race the entire season. And then we still have Tony Parker hanging on at the point guard position. Even if he isn't a three-point shooter, he still knows what he's doing there. But then instead of Pau Gasol, Dwayne Dedmon is in the game. He's way more athletic than Gasol, he's a better rim protector, and he's just a better defensive player overall. And they've been better with him in the game. We're going to head over to the Houston Rockets now. Clint Capella, simply a better chemistry guy for this team than Dwight Howard was, even if he's not as talented. Trevor Ariza, who has found a really nice home in Houston. He has a very comfortable role for himself there. Ryan Anderson, His three-point shooting has been everything we thought it would be for the Rockets. The defense of Patrick Beverley is great next to James Harden, and this Houston team, they've been good enough defensively. That's been the surprise with them this season, at least for me. And then, of course, everything James Harden's doing this year as a scorer, as a playmaker. I mean, the guy is a very real possibility he'll be the MVP. But Houston has another one here. There's also, when they replace Capella with Harrell and the energy that he can provide for them off the bench when it comes to both baskets, he's always moving. Then you have Eric Gordon, and his range has been ridiculous with the way that he can just shoot the ball even if you're playing good defense. I mean, it's guys like Gordon that make me think eventually the three-point line is going to be moved back a little bit. And he is also in running for Sixth Man of the Year. He very well could get it. And then James Harden remains in the game as well. Houston's just so versatile. So many guys, and Mike D'Antoni uses them all so well. And then finally, the Los Angeles Clippers. Their starting lineup has played 700 minutes together. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If I was Doc Rivers, I would be having like 2 of their top 4 guys in the game at all times. But the starting lineup is very good. J.J. Redick's outside shooting, DeAndre Jordan's defense, and Ba Mute, who's actually been decent when it comes to open jumpers this season, on top of Chris Paul, as well as Blake Griffin. I mean, we know the starting 5, and they've still been good. Now, there were a couple of teams that were definitely considered for this. I want to make note of OKC's lineup since they acquired Taj Gibson, of basically Westbrook and a bunch of defenders around him, with Victor Oladipo, who can still be an offensive option as well as one of the better perimeter stoppers in the NBA. Taj Gibson remains a strong offensive rebounder, and he always knows what to do when it comes to providing help defense and helping on pick and rolls as well. You've got Robertson, who is good on one side of the floor. And then there's Steven Adams. I wouldn't put this one in the top 10 just because they haven't been together too long, but they have been damn good in the minutes that they have shared together.